It all went horribly wrong for Rangers last week in their first Champions League qualifier. Tonight they have to make amends in Malmö. They're 1-0 down and the pressure is on. Coming up live on Premier Sports, it's Malmö against Rangers live from the Swedbank Stadium. I think you put your finger on it. That first goal is crucial, and how Rangers start is crucial, because they need to score twice. The two goals don't need to come in the first 15 minutes, no, but they've got to avoid conceding one.
The two goals don't need to come in the 90 minutes. You need one goal in the 90 minutes and not to concede. And I think it's such a massive night, though. We can speak about it, but it's such a big night for the club.
A huge amount at stake. Let's hope from a Scottish point of view that the result is a good one for Rangers. Let's join our match commentators, Pat Nevin and Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Dougie. Welcome to the Swedbank Stadium on a night that is potentially worth untold millions for Rangers. Malmö's victory last week came on a night when the Gers were significantly below par, and yet they could easily have garnered a first leg advantage. A week on, with a comfortable victory, St Johnstone under their wing since, they take to Swedish soil knowing that, realistically, they have to score twice to stand any chance of staying in the Champions League. Yes, there is the safety net of a place in the Europa League qualifiers if it does go wrong tonight, but there's a huge financial disparity between the two competitions, and every pound is welcome right now. Well, Malmö surprised many with their first leg performance, which belied their struggles in the league this season, since Rikard Norling, who's left back Ricardinho back from suspension. Larsson, the scorer last weekend, plays with the impressive Brazilian Wílton Figueiredo in behind him. Well, Rangers have never progressed in Europe after losing the first leg at home. Can they overturn the weight of history here in Western Sweden tonight? Rangers in their change kit of predominantly red shirts and blue shorts, kicking from right to left in the first half. And Pat, last weekend it was an electrifying start from Malmö on the front foot from the very off as the visitors. Will Rangers be able to replicate that tonight?
Well, it's a danger if you go too quickly, especially away from home. Rangers don't obviously want to lose another goal, especially early on, but you can see right from the start there, they're trying to push up a little bit if they possibly can, give a little bit of support there. But Rangers, imperative, start, as Colin was saying beforehand, if you said yourself, start quickly, do not give the Malmö players a chance to hold the ball and get their game going, because they're a neat, tidy passing side.
Swedbank Stadion pretty much full to capacity tonight. It holds around 30,000. Officially no Rangers support in the ground. More than a generation now since Malmö became the first Swedish side ever to reach the European Cup final, beaten by Trevor Francis and Nottingham Forest in Munich in 1979, a long time ago now. A club which has a heritage of British football, managed by Bob Houghton, Keith Blunt and Roy Hodgson in their golden era. Larsson here caught offside.
It's a danger moment, isn't it, when you look at it there, and how often Rangers in the first leg, were caught with the pace of Larsson getting through. And Rangers once again seem to be playing that slightly higher line, pushing up a little bit, and that man will accept it as long as it works every time, and as long as the assistant referee gets a call right every time.
Officials tonight, incidentally, are from Russia. The referee is Vladislav Bezborodov, which might be a good omen as far as Rangers are concerned. He made his debut on the European stage on a night when Nikita Jelavic scored twice. Jelavic seeing the decision go against him there. Here's Papac. Bagheera. 113th Rangers appearance for him tonight, and may well prove to be his last. Now McCulloch. Papac's looking long for Jelavic, who's flicked it on towards Davis here. Jelavic. Back it comes from Whittaker. There's the youngster Jansson who was able to get it away. Guided back in again by Wallace. Will Rangers be able to find a reward for some tangible early pressure?
That's a very heartening start for Rangers, I think. Jelic, one of the players who certainly got past marks in the first leg. I think he looks very lively at the start here. And obviously a little bit of confidence that he's off the mark in the score sheet already this season, but he's a player that Rangers will want to get on the ball, as is this man, Naismith. You know, his touch seems to be coming back again.
Well, it's a Rangers free kick for the initial foul, which was by Ricardinho, even though Durmaz was the player who was most affected. And Ricardinho only just back from suspension today. The Brazilian left back was giving away a free kick in a promising position. What can Lee Wallace muster with 6 targets in the penalty area for him to try and hit? Deep delivery towards Figueiredo, and then it's Rangers the first corner of the night.
You know, we've all been played in very, very close to the goalkeeper. You might think that's a bad mistake. It's not. That goalkeeper looked very dodgy last week from crosses. First ball right on top of him, asked him a question, dealt with it okay though.
What for Melicharek to do potentially as the corner comes in. Had an excellent night at Ibrox last weekend. He'll be hoping that he doesn't have to prove to be so significant in the Rangers side tonight. Yeah, the territorial advantage is with Rangers. Ricardinho back in the side, struggling against Naismith at the moment.
Interesting moment there. Figueiredo gets very, very close to Larsson. You know, he's not letting him get on the ball. You know, he's very good when he plays the ball short, then spins into space. He's not getting half a chance there from Figueiredo, but Figueiredo has to make sure he keeps his concentration up.
Now Jelic chasing. Some last gas defending. Ally McCoy will be delighted with the way that his side have started here. This weekend it was the pace of Larsson which threatened to undo Rangers in the early stages. This time it's Andersson and Jansson who are struggling against the direct play of Jelic in the early stages.
There's a really neat ball through, and that's what Rangers are very good at. They've got players that can play that little pass through. They've obviously got Davis. They've got Naismith who's capable of that as well. But Jelic's movement is fabulous. Now, let's see what's happened to the goalkeeper here. Malmö did have problems last week.
An injury seemingly inflicted by his captain Daniel Andersson.
There was a wee moment there when he was lying down holding his head, and well, he's doing it again. He wondered if it was a head injury, but no, I'm sure he'll be fine.
Well, they need him to be fine, because the substitute goalkeeper, Dejan Garacha, is only the 3rd choice keeper. He's only ever started 1 game in his career.
I mean, the good thing about this, I mean, it was a ball in a dangerous area, and I think he has taken a bit of knock there in his, on his ankle, just on his shin though. But the nice thing about it for Rangers, more than nice thing, I mean, the encouraging thing is, Alan McCoy kept on saying, Colin Hendry said before the game, start well. Well, in actual fact, Malmö have hardly been out of their own half in the first, 5, 6, 7 minutes. You know, it's easier to do. And so far, Rangers 10 minutes and have done it.
Very deep from Davis towards Figueiredo. Melicharek forced to tip it away. Last 10 minutes could hardly have gone any better, with the exception of the scoreline for Rangers. In he comes again, this time from Wallace. Davis. Well, he tried to help it wide. Rangers have a player down inside the 6-yard box and then concede the free kick with the challenge from Wallace on Ricardinho.
It's been tough that for Lee Wallace taking the free kicks from that far side, because the sun is directly in his eyes. Someone's back taking a golf shot, don't know where you're going to hit the ball. You put a decent ball in there. I think Malmö will be relieved to get the free kick there. You know, to get a little bit of respite, get the ball up the field.
Ortiz had lost out, but Mutavdzic chasing a lost cause again. 4 from Papac. And from Mutavdzic, putting pressure on his own defenders. McCulloch battling, but unable to emerge with possession and catching Mutavdzic.
I think that's the first midfield tackle that Malmö have come out on top of. I think up until now, Rangers are basically bossing that area. And again, so different from the first leg, when Rangers were leggy. They couldn't get closer, they were getting the ball passed around them. They're not allowing that to happen so far.
Two centre-halves, Andersson and Jansson, both waiting for this delivery. Whittaker with the header away. Through a crowd of players, knocked away by Wallace. Wílton Figueiredo's ball over the top, set up for Jansson. Well, it would have been very hard on Rangers had that gone in. The start that the Glaswegian side have made.
Yeah, but it's bad defending, though. Give a look at this when this ball's out down there. There's 3 Malmö players in there. There's only Figueiredo that's gone with them. You've got to stay with your man. If everyone goes out, everyone goes out. If one player doesn't go out, then you've got problems. And again, I'm sure Colin Henry will be looking at that at half-time. You cannot leave your one central defender in there with 3 guys to mark. That concentration, which I was mentioned before, they have to make sure that the entirety of the unit works together. And that's what Rangers are so good at, particularly under Walter Smith.
To McCulloch. Edu doing well in the midfield, and the Russian referee has played the advantage. He's spent most of his time in Malmö territory so far. It's Ortiz. Convincing clearance from Jansson was effective, and right back today, a real versatile player. He's ordinarily a winger rather than a defender. Wílton making his way forward. There's Mehmeti, who was fouled. Too much of him in the opening 15 minutes. Sasa Papac giving the free kick away.
Struck me slightly hard, and Sasa Papac that one. He was going for the ball, and maybe the first minute or two of decent sustained, I wouldn't say pressure, but certainly they've held the ball fit much better in the last minute or two at Malmö. So it's a way Rangers, but they have to, they know how to defend. They have to defend if you do not want to lose a goal inside the first 15-20 minutes.
And he comes from Wílton. Well, he used all 5 of the Malmö players inside the penalty area as a decoy. Alan McGregor was equal to an audacious attempt.
I think we can see this is dipping under the bar, isn't it? That's definitely going under the bar, and I think McGregor always had it covered. He was waiting to see if he could take the chance and then slide over, but he certainly couldn't do that.
Again from Wílton. Bouncing off Mehmeti at the near post. No foul by McCulloch. Rangers lost Davy Weir inside the opening half hour last week. It's the same set of players that have played the last hour of that second leg that have started tonight. Such a encouraging uplift in the level of performance from them.
Yeah, the same set of players, but it's a fitter set.
That was a poor challenge on him, but this is the reaction.
There's no answer. There's no argument at all. None at all. The rules and the laws of the game, the referee cannot do anything else there than send off Whittaker. And it's, you know, you will not hear a complaint afterwards from Larsson or Coist or anyone at Rangers. That, these days, is a sending off offence. It's a moment of complete and utter stupidity, and it could cost Rangers a game. It's certainly made it incredibly difficult for Rangers. And let's not talk about the money, but boy, is that an expensive mistake, or it could be an expensive mistake. I tell you what, the Rangers fans are angry enough with Whittaker from last week for that mistake, and he didn't have a good game, but that's, I tell you what, the level of forgiveness after that is just madness.
Well, in the 18th minute last week, Whittaker's error led to the goal. In the 18th minute this week, a rush of blood to the head sees Rangers reduced to 10 men. Boy, have they got work to do now. First of all, a set piece to defend as it comes in from Figueiredo. Blazing the effort over the bar.
There's problems all over the place now for Rangers. What on earth do you do? I'm of course, I have to look at it now. He's got to adapt the team. The entire game plan is now out the window. Absolutely out the window. He has to really think about it now. I mean, I'm sure what he's thinking is making sure that there's enough defensiveness there, that they do not lose anything in the next 5 or 10 minutes. You know, keep it under control for the next 5 or 10 minutes, give him thinking time. I mean, he can't even really make that many changes. There's not much on the bench to bring on, but he may have to consider that as well.
We do have Kurt Crawford on the bench, who could slot in a right back, depending on how Ali sees fit. He's just dropped Edu in there at the moment, as you can see. Worth pointing out, Pat, that the reaction of the Malmö player left a bit to be desired, going down holding his face when he was hit on the shoulder.
Oh, 100%, yeah. But that's the modern game, you know. Rangers actually working this just now. They know the referees in a position where if they get in good position, they will get free kicks around about the box. They could do with something like what a lift that would give to the players. But you're absolutely right. You know, he did make an absolute meal of it, and as did Larsson moments before. But that's a European game. You have to accept it. I mean, Stephen Whittaker, he's played enough games in Europe. He knows that's going on. He knows that can happen.
Rangers would give for a moment of inspiration and brilliance now to tie up the aggregate score at 1-1. Jelic has an excellent goal-scoring record in European competition. He's hit better ones than that in the past.
I think he was deliberately doing that. He was trying to go below the wall, expecting them to jump, but they didn't jump high enough.
Lost it high by Figueiredo, away by Jansson, helped on by McCulloch. Ricardinho clears his lines. Larsson doing well to keep the move going here for Malmö. Wílton. Now Hamad pushing forward from right back. Covering came from McCulloch. Edu beaten. Gregor wasn't.
Yeah, but obviously if a player's got moved into a right full-back position, he's not used to playing there. He has played in defensive roles before, Edu, but obviously intelligent teams, they know what to do. They ask him questions, they took players up against him, one-on-one, and Durmaz did the right thing there, managed to get by him, but well done, Edu. He didn't give a clean cross into the box, he didn't allow that to happen.
And even worse for Rangers is the fact that up until Whittaker was sent off, they were the dominant side. It really has eased all the pressure on Malmö. Ball played forward towards Naismith. Figueiredo. And Jelavic! Well, Rangers might be a man down, but they're a goal up. It's all level on aggregate. The 10 men tied up, 1-1. And Nikita Jelavic's first European goal for Rangers. A delight for Ali McCoist.
The ball in by Edu with his left foot from the right back area. And if Jelavic does anything better than the best part of his game is peeling off old-fashioned centre-forward style off the central defenders. He did it absolutely brilliantly there and picked it out volley. That's not an easy finish. I mean, that's a real skill on the volley, on target, at the back post. What a great lift that's given to the Rangers players, because I'm sure they were beginning to feel tired, thinking, can we keep this up? Now Ali McCoist, now he's got good decisions to make. He can sit back a little bit, he can soak up a bit of pressure. That's doable with 10 men.
Well, he's got 13 goals in 18 European ties for Rapid Vienna. And that's now 21 goals in 31 games for Rangers. What an important one, potentially from Jelavic. Over the majority of the opening 24 minutes, it is a lead that Rangers deserve. They got there with 10 men. Pushed by Larsson on Papac. Free kick to Rangers.
Kick in the teeth that is for Whittaker as well. Go and stick someone in his position. He's made a right mess of it. The player in his position creates what could be an all-important goal. Certainly the all-important goal. It's got Rangers hopes back up again. And what a lift, as I say, to all their players. And I think they're well capable from here on in. It's whether they've got the strength. It's still early in the season. Rangers will still be lacking a certain amount of, match practice and match fitness, but they must be getting close now. And certainly Naismith, who looks as if he's got his fitness back. Davis has been up and down the pitch, and all that rustiness that we were watching last week, that's mostly gone from most of the players.
No doubt that Rangers were buoyed by the result and the level of performance in Perth at the weekend against St Johnstone, and they brought that over to southwest Sweden tonight. Malmö currently 8th in the Swedish league, miles adrift of leaders Helsingborg. They are the reigning champions, but they've got no chance at all of retaining that this season. They're winning their first 4 league games, but only 3 of 13 since, so bang out of form. Also the kind of side that, the way things have been going recently, you might expect just to buckle a little bit under pressure from an expectant home crowd. To their credit, haven't turned on the side yet. The free kick has gone to Rangers here for a foul on Jelavic.
Yeah, well done, the referee. And he spotted that one. He's let the play go on just for a couple of seconds to see if there was an advantage to Rangers. But one thing quickly to say, Ali McCoist, very good. I think he's done exactly the right thing here. He's went to a 4-4-1. I mean, it's really defensively, Rangers haven't lost a great deal so far, and Jelavic on his own up front, because he's such a talented technical player, he'll tie up a couple of defenders, maybe even 2 to 3 defenders, the way he moves off the ball. So Rangers now, amazingly and suddenly, in a quite comfortable position, because with 4 defenders and 4 midfielders, they're going to be tough to break down. It's up to Malmö to try and do it.
Jimmy Durmaz. Blocked by Edu. Durmaz throws himself to the ground.
Well, if he's thrown himself to the ground and he hasn't been touched, then it's difficult to see from this distance. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. I think that picture gives you it, doesn't it? A wee sneaky look up. Let's have a wee look at this again. He has thrown an elbow. I'm sorry, I think Figueiredo's maybe stuck a fist out there. I mean, it's difficult for this angle and from that replay to see, but if Figueiredo's done that, considering his involvement in the original, or was it Eddie? Difficult to see from this angle because it was a distance, but they need a bit more control. Yeah, that's it, there's Eddie. But I'll tell you, needs more control. I mean, that's Edu losing a bit of control. Whittaker obviously has lost a bit of control. And even the moment of Figueiredo as well. And you can't do that. You just can't do that at this level.
The referee, incidentally, is one of those very few who actually used to play professionally. He played in Russia for Zenit St. Petersburg, so you would imagine that he knows all the tricks. Good defending again from Edu. Worth reiterating for all the stick that he got last week after his performance at Ibrox, and here's Edu's excellent crossfield ball, which has set up Jelavic for the important goal of the night.
And I'm sure we'll have another look at that at half-time, if Edu has stuck his fist out. And if he has done that, and could have been sent off if it was seen, I mean, that's total market share again. I mean, what on earth is going on?
Beaten twice here this season by scoreline that would see him eliminated tonight. 2-0 defeat against IFK Gothenburg, also a 3-0 reverse against Helsingborg. That was a game that was abandoned, as was the weekend's match, of course, because of crowd trouble. Rangers a goal up.
I can't remember the Rangers, of course. You look at the amount of times in Europe over the last few years they've gone away and been able to soak up pressure for long periods of time. So it's an absolute godsend getting that goal at this point in time, because the Rangers players will not be panicked. They can now allow Malmö a load of possession and shouldn't be too worried about it.
Made some 40-50 yards here, and he's found Jelavic. Just couldn't quite cushion the header into Stephen Davis's path.
That's a chance, by the way. That is a big, big chance, because Jelavic knows that he can get that ball down there. He knows that he spotted the run, he spotted where he has to put the header. That's exactly what Jelavic, he drew his hands on his head because he knew that he's got the ability to put it straight on the plate there. And although it didn't look like a chance because it went straight to the goalkeeper, that was a great opportunity for Rangers.
Durmaz with the delivery. Crowd appealing for handball against Edu. Durmaz finds his way through past Figueiredo. Larsson free in the centre. Good save, McGregor. And hacked to safety by Papac.
I think we knew that McGregor was going to have to at some point make some good saves tonight. And he's dived out there into the right area. There's nothing he can do. Obviously, he can't catch it, but the ease in which Durmaz got past there, for the second time in the game into that byline there, that is a concern for Rangers.
Malmö, as you can see, poised to make a change. Philip Stenström, who's only played one senior game in his career. He's a right back by trade. He's a player who will be brought on in a moment. Might see Hamad, those playing right back at the moment, stay on the field incidentally and push into a more advanced role. It might be possibly Mehmeti, the right winger, who we've seen very little of so far, who comes off. It will be made clear very shortly. But Hamad's lost possession here. Ortiz. Good ball for Jelavic. Good turn. He's found Naismith. The shot just took a deflection to safety.
Again, I think it's maybe just a half a step behind Naismith there. Jelavic holds the ball, great awareness, knows exactly where the ball is, knows exactly where his defenders are, makes himself a few yards of space, and I think he's had straight into the path of Naismith as opposed to putting a step ahead of him so he could run on and take a first-time shot. Again, quite heartening. I mean, I do think those two have got a great understanding when they play together.
It's doing well to win it back. Davis for Edu. Such a willing worker as a leader of the line. Couldn't get there this time. Pekalski brings it away. Now Mehmeti. Challenge from Papac. match, and the substitution will be made. It is Mehmeti who will make way. Stenström comes on, he will play at right back, and Hamad will move forward onto the right-hand side of midfield. Stenström in the starting lineup on Saturday for only the second time in his career in that game that got abandoned. So a tactical change being made by Malmö, with still over 10 minutes to go to half-time.
And I say I'm hugely impressed with you calling that so early. I'm very impressed. I was looking for an injury and I couldn't see one. I don't think it was an injury, I think it's tactical.
Figueiredo missing his kick. And here is Hamad in this more advanced role. Stenström covers the ground.
Hamad actually looks much better and more forward row. He looks as if he's been released and he's decent on the ball as well.
Stenström's delivery, Edu will let that run out of play. Rangers, if you're just joining us, leading through Jelovic's goal about 10 minutes ago, but down to 10 men after Stephen Whittaker threw the ball at an opponent who was lying on the ground, hit him on the shoulder. The national referee sending Whittaker off. That was about 4 minutes before Rangers took the lead. 1-1 on aggregate. 1-0 to Rangers tonight, the only scoreline that could take this game into extra time. Any win for Rangers tonight that isn't 1-0 will be enough to see them through on away goals. Corner.
Again, it's another period to play where Rangers are, I would say, under pressure, but not under severe pressure. I think, but certainly, you know, they're having to cede a part of the midfield, and they're not getting as much possession. Understandably, being a man down, but something that Rangers are used to just now. But it's where they can keep their concentration, keep their organisation. Remember, they haven't got Davy Weir there to control that at the back.
Wílton Figueiredo with Malmö's second corner of the night. Durmaz, who missed his kick. He comes from Ricardinho. And the overhead kick was acrobatic from Larsson, not too effective in the end.
It's good technique though, isn't it? It's decent technique. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, it's a foul, I would accept that. But Jelovic putting himself about, you know, he's a good physique, you know, he gets himself, he makes sure that every defender doesn't relax on the ball and get easy possession. And he's generally taking now 3 defenders that are taking to mark him, and he's making sure that they don't. Ooh, that was a so one nearly. But, you know, I think he's done a great job so far.
Naismith throwing himself into the 50-50, didn't quite beat Ricardinho. Figueiredo similarly impassioned in his bid to win possession back. Forward it comes from Edu. Only Jelovic is a target upfield.
But you see again, with 3 men round him. That's fair enough, it feels bad if you've got 3 men round you, but you're actually keeping them occupied, and that's helping Rangers.
Daniel Andersson. Durmaz pushed over by Edu, and a yellow card for the American.
Again, I don't know what Edu's doing there. He's been beaten once again, all ends up by the winger, goes past him. But where's he running to? I'll tell you what he's doing, he's running straight into Figueiredo. Leave him, don't drag him back. You know you're going to get a yellow card for that. Now he's walking a tightrope. And considering his previous misdemeanour as well.
Doran Goyan tonight for Rangers. They got the red tape sorted out. was eligible to play. They won their appeal against UEFA. And he did his hamstring. Official word is carrying a hamstring injury. It seems to be an exacerbation of it earlier today, which is why he's not in the starting lineup. So Papac and Figueiredo, two Rangers centre-halves. Away by Wallace. Naismith, Davis. Norling's a free kick.
Davis would be quite happy with that, because had he lost the ball in that position, it was a dangerous area. Certainly, Ricardinho got a bit of the ball, but I think the referee got that one right because he was hauling Davis back as well.
Yellow card for Ricardinho. His second poor challenge of the night, and he becomes the first Malmö player in Bezborodov's book.
Some Rangers fans may be slightly infuriated by the referee. I don't think he's done a great deal wrong tonight. I think he's got most things right, and it certainly doesn't look to me as if he's a homer in any way. I mean, given that yellow card there, well done, referee.
Mutavdzic about to clear. Wallace. Ortiz. Goal for Rangers now, of course, would leave Malmö needing to score twice. Fouled by Figueiredo on Larsson, who's been much more effectively shackled this week than he was last.
And that's when Figueiredo's good. You know, he gets close. I mean, it's probably quite harsh giving a free kick away there, you know, because he's just making an honest challenge, but not giving Larsson any space.
His touch is a little bit too heavy as he tried to guide it on into the path of Naismith.
Notice the run from Naismith there. I mean, he's got a great engine on him, Naismith. He'll get up and down the path, trying as often as he possibly can to get beyond Jelic, because he knows, just as you mentioned moments ago, another goal for Rangers now. What a fantastic position, but I think McCoist would accept 1-0 at half-time. Let's hope it can last.
Stenstrom. He's in another corner. Balance about the Malmö side since they made the tactical change. Daniel Larsson, the man that scored the winner in the first leg. There's several waiting for this delivery from Wílton Figueiredo. Plenty of air underneath it. Back it comes from Andersson. Stenstrom's header just got away from Naismith. Andersson. Durmaz. And Alan McGregor came out. Didn't get anything like the kind of contact on it that he wanted, but he's got away with it. Here's Wílton Figueiredo again.
Absolutely spot on about Alan McGregor there. If we all know how great a goalkeeper he is, we know how great a shot stopper he is, but not necessarily best in the world at coming out and collecting balls and from crosses, etc. But he made the decision to go. He made the decision to go. You need to get something. Now he got something, not much in the ball, but it was enough. But it wasn't overly impressive.
From Papac. By Stenstrom. Larsson. Defending from Wallace. Jelic. Close to being offside, Naismith. Culloch with a challenge there, and then some afters from Durmaz.
Well, the referee's got some decisions to make here. Again, Lee doesn't need to go in there. I think that's absolutely unnecessary. That's another unnecessary yellow card, and he will get a yellow card. But what is the referee going to do about the retaliation? If the referee's seen retaliation, then he's got to do it. I think he's got to go red. Let's have a look here. I think retaliation is red. Now let's see if the referee's brave enough now. If throwing a ball at a player and hitting his shoulder is a red card for retaliation, well, that's retaliation for me as well. Do you get the horrible feeling he's not going to go red?
Yes. Well, there was a yellow flash in the general direction of one of the Malmö players. Now, Mutavdzic had got involved with Naismith after the event. Now, that yellow card that has been shown isn't for Durmaz, who was the perpetrator of the challenge on McCulloch. So there's more to come here from the referee.
I think it should be red. I really do think it should be red for retaliation. You know, whether you want to or not, it doesn't matter. You've got rules there. He's retaliated. And the general acceptance, most referees will send off a player for that.
I don't think McCulloch will have too many complaints. The yellow card that's coming his way for the initial challenge here.
He's looking for the sympathy vote right now.
Card and the book are back in the pocket. You can only imagine that the referee hasn't seen it. We'll get clarification at half-time.
Yeah, we need to get clarification on that, because for me that's retaliation. And the referee up until now, for me, has had a good game. I think he's got that wrong. Just a few worrying signs for Rangers just now. I mean, too many players going into the book at the moment. A few rash challenges going in, a few tired challenges going in. Certainly Edu is finding it very tough at that right full-back area just now when his wide man's running at him. But other than that, there's lots of positives to take for Rangers. Well, huge positives away from home. They've got to go back. They desperately need to. Down to 10 men. That's not good news either. But for me, I think it should be 10 aside at this point in time.
Well, the half-time whistle goes, and it's been an excellent first 45 minutes as far as Ali McCoist and Rangers are concerned. Last week, a listless performance. This week, much more impressive, much more resilience. Jelovic with the goal midway through the half after Whittaker had received the red card deservedly for throwing the ball at an opponent. We can clear up, incidentally, right at the end of the half, it was Jansson, the Malmö centre-half, that received that yellow card. But there was no yellow card, nor the red that perhaps Durmaz deserved for retaliation on Lee McCulloch. Plenty of talking points. Very, very engrossing game. And Rangers have done plenty to keep their European Champions League hopes alive. At the break, it's Malmö 0, Rangers 1, 1-1 on aggregate.
Yes, you're not wrong, Jim. Plenty of incidents. Let's just quickly look ahead to tomorrow night, 5:55. Hajduk split against Stoke City. Stoke 1-0 up from the first leg in their Europa League qualifier. And then, of course, on Saturday, Rangers against Chelsea pre-season friendly. You can see that one on Saturday night at 10 o'clock. The full match from earlier in the afternoon. Blue Square Premier season kicks off a week on Friday. Live, Forest Green Rovers against Stockport County, led by Didi Hamann. That's from 7:30. And, of course, don't forget the boxing as well. Joseph Agbeko of Ghana against Abdur Marez from California. The IBF Bantamweight title at stake. That's on Sunday, August 14th from 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, I'll tell you who might well be the most relieved man in the Rangers party at the moment anyway. It's got to be Stephen Whittaker for one of the most stupid, irresponsible and ridiculous sendings off you've ever seen, and he really did put his team in trouble. Fortunately, Rangers did come back and get the goal, which gives them that 1-0 lead at half-time. But plenty of incident, but I think a lot for us to be optimistic about, Colin, at the moment.
Listen, Rangers have been superb, absolutely first class. Their effort, their application, their attitude, but for Stephen Whittaker, it's been an excellent 45 minutes from Rangers, and I know, Dookie, we've got loads to talk through and to analyse, but credit Rangers for the 45 minutes and to go in front with 10 men.
We all said they've got to start well, and they did exactly that. I think Malmö were out of their own half for the first 10 minutes. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, pinned right up against them, didn't give them a moment's opportunity to try and break on them, man for man, and at times they did what Malmö did to Rangers last week. You know, even here, got them pinned all the way back, and it's all in their half. It's all in the Malmö half. I mean, there's an example of trying to find a man. It's not such a great throw-in just there from Lee Wallace, but again, you've got someone up against them, and at times they just can't get out their own half. And for about 15, well, it was for 15 minutes that continued. First every ball, didn't sometimes get the passes off as they would have liked, but you know, they're just slapping at the ball there. They're just kicking in.
And they made it a very uncomfortable start to the game for the Malmö defenders. And we said even at Ibrox last week, I know things all went wrong, but they didn't look that comfortable when they were under pressure.
There was a period, there was a touch. Just there last week we spoke about where we thought that if Rangers could get a bit of quality, they put it under real pressure. I mean, they didn't have any chances tonight, Rangers, in that period, but they put pressure on them and they made mistakes because of that.
That's right. They set the pattern for the game, which was key. Mind you, last week at Ibrox, Rangers started not too badly, but Malmö get in early, and they very nearly did it again here early on. This was really the first Malmö attack of the game, Colin, and Rangers, well, they switched off defensively a bit, didn't they?
Pat mentioned it. Look at that 1v3. They've just come out. I don't think Papac has come out with a man. I don't think Lee McCulloch came out with a man, and Bugera's left with 3, and got off the hook. Really did get off the hook, and that's that little slipshod moment of madness where it can cost you the goal that could, well, that would have killed the game.
It would have, absolutely. And then came the red card, 18 minutes in, and you tell your players, stay calm, stay cool, don't get involved, and then an experienced player who's just signed a new long-term contract does something as stupid as this. It's beyond explanation, Colin.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, Dougie, in my day you could get away with something like that. The way the rules and the laws are now, you can't really put your hand on another player. You can't do this.
I know he's caught a sore one and all the rest of it, but
I don't think, Stephen. I mean, totally irresponsible. I know he's disputing it, but you just can't do that in professional football and get away with it.
I assume the coaching staff will give Stephen Whittaker a rocket.
Yeah.
What do the players say in the dressing room at half-time? Will the players have a pump?
I would think they would leave that.
Yeah.
I mean, let's look at the positives.
Yeah.
They're in front. They deserve to be in front. Scored a good goal. Could have scored maybe more. They'll leave that alone until after the game.
5 minutes was on the interval between the red card and the goal which Rangers so badly wanted. Down to 10 men, everybody getting a bit concerned. And then a wonderful ball from Edu, who's not been the fans' favourite over the last couple of matches, it has to be said.
He's been criticised in various quarters, but he pinged this in with his left foot. Jelavic just pulled off the full-back. What a finish, though.
Great finish.
You know, any other player, I mean, if you're looking at it's very Berbatov-esque, really. He's the type of player that scores goals like that. Well, I think Jelavic can be a better player than him. And what we've seen of him tonight, his work rate, you know, his combination work with Naismith, and his finish, you know, he's proven the money they spent on him.
Yeah,
has been good value.
Well, it was this time last year that Walter Smith spent virtually his whole transfer budget on Jelavic and then lost him for much of the season through injury. But you can see now why Rangers were so keen to get him.
Well, absolutely. And his input of goals last season, but he's a workhorse, you know, but he's got quality. And that'll always shine through.
Yeah. Not that we're particularly concerned about Malmö defensively, but I think the Malmö manager, Rikard Norling, will be a bit disturbed that Jelavic's been given that much room.
Well, I think he'll be disturbed at the fact that the pressure that Rangers have been allowed to put on initially in the game and still carve out chances, because they've had 3 or 4 good chances since they've gone down to 10 men, since they've scored the goal. So he has got his work cut out. And to be honest, I think Rangers have got to be on the front foot at the back and just make sure that they don't lose a goal.
Yeah, and they've got to keep the concentration levels, and they can't get involved. Edu was perhaps just a little fortunate here. Another referee on another night might just have seen this as a yellow or a red card. There didn't look to be an awful lot in it, Colin.
Well, no, but by the letter of the law, the first hands get thrown by Durmaz. And of course, a retaliation from Edu. You'll see the first one there in the second.
Yeah.
Durmaz takes a sore one. Edu's gotten on with his one. But if you're going to get sent off for throwing the ball at an opponent, then you're going to get sent off for something like that. But he's just totally ignored it, the referee. And to be fair, up until, let's say, the 44th minute of the game.
The retaliation is pretty clear, isn't it?
Well, to be fair, I mean, he's brought the yellow card. We don't see that in shot, but he's brought the yellow card out right away to give to McCulloch. He's booked, I think, Andersson there.
Janssen, I think
Janssen was Janssen there for retaliating. And then after that, for Durmaz to kick out in front of him and not take any action at all, well, he's blotted his copybook tonight, the referee.
Yeah.
He's been all right up until then, but that's in front of everyone. It's in front of us in the studio, all the fans watching, and he's made a massive mistake and he's played it down. And you could see at the end of the half, the Rangers fans attending the referee, trying to explain to him what had happened, because he's brought the yellow for McCulloch. He's booked him, but he's left Durmaz alone, which is a mistake. Very
lucky boy. He limped off. That may just have been a distraction for the referee or whatever, but we thought that was certainly worth a red card. One little point, actually. I'm a little bit concerned at how Naismith is too keen to get involved in arguments and talking back. He's got to be careful about that. I think
we looked at it early doors, didn't we? When he got clobbered from behind and he's gone straight to the referee and he's gesticulating. And foreign referees don't want to see that. I mean, British referees are a bit more used to that. But continental referees don't like dealing with that. And sometimes they turn a blind eye. So if it happens again, you don't get the punishment you deserve, or the player that makes the mistake doesn't get the punishment he deserves. So that's something in his game that he maybe needs to iron out as he gets a wee bit older, more experienced.
But the good news is that Rangers are 1-0 up at half-time. It's 1-1 on aggregate. Back live for the second half very shortly. But as we mentioned, the Blue Square season gets underway a week on Friday, and it's all live on Premier Sports.
The true heart of English football returns to Premier Sports as another exciting season of Blue Square Bet Premier gets underway.
What an extraordinary goal! It's in for Southport! What a strike by Chris Sim!
Can you believe this?
See the best action all season long right here on Premier Sports TV. To subscribe, visit premiersports.tv or call 0871 663 9000.
And it all kicks off with Forest Green against Stockport, Friday the 12th of August. Now, of course, lots of other Champions League qualifiers going on around Europe tonight. Let's hope that Rangers are in the draw for the next round. There's one right at the top there. Rubin Kazan beating Dynamo Kiev by 2-1. That match is just this moment over. As you can see, most of the other matches aren't underway yet because the Malmö Rangers game was an early kick-off. Vaslui 0, 20 Enskede 0, but all of the others are 7:15, 7:30 or 7:45 kick-ups. So I'll give you one or two more details at full time. So over the piece, after all the disappointment of Ibrox last week, for the moment, and we have to stress for the moment, it's looking good for Rangers, because I think Malmö have got far more problems despite the fact they've got the extra man.
Yeah, because Rangers have still been able to pick holes in their defence and create chances, and that'll be heartening for Ali in the dressing room, and certainly for any Rangers fans watching. I think it's going to be a massive effort though for 45 minutes now, because 10 men. There've been 18 minutes when Whittaker got sent off. There is a possibility of him, extra time. But
well, at the moment, of course, if it stays 1-0, it goes to extra time. Rangers don't want extra time.
Well, no, they've only got Chelsea on Saturday, haven't they?
It's only a friendly.
Yeah, well, that's it. In a nutshell, priorities are tonight. I mean, if they get a result tonight, which they're in the driving seat at the moment, it was a massive effort, but 45 minutes of importance now.
Yeah. Let's take another look at the goal which separates these two sides at halfway. A beautifully simple goal in a lot of ways, really. I mean, sometimes the game is so complicated, so well organised now, Colin. You don't see simple goals. This was a simple goal.
And to be fair, Eddie's just dropped back into the right-back position. He's played it with his left foot. I mean, Jelavic has pulled off, as a clever striker does. Side foots at home. Not a lot of power on the ball. Just precise and
great technique.
Clinical. Yeah, the technique's world class. Any other player, you're talking about the top players in the world, Doogie, converting a goal like that, they'll be raving about it for long enough.
Absolutely.
But, clinical finish.
But it is only 1-0. Rangers are down to 10 men. I guess it's more of the same in the second half. We don't anticipate any great changes, do we?
No, it's up to Malmö. If Malmö if they think that they've got to change things in order to get the goal they'll need. It'll be up to them. I think Ali will be far more happier now that he'll keep his bank of 4 and a 4, I would think, with Jelavic up front. He is employing 2 or 3 players at a time, Jelavic. He's not going to be able to do that for 90 minutes. Whether you look at the bench and, shy of great experience, Kirk Broadfoot's probably the only one there that, you would expect maybe even David Healy might come into play, but certainly there's not a lot to choose from the bench.
Greg Wild, who's very, very young, very inexperienced, but quick.
He's very quick.
And that might be useful later on.
Quick, direct, you run in the channels. He might be something that they might need to use later on, come the end of the game. Chasing into the corners. If he's got that nous about him, he's still a young boy, still a young kid, but certainly got plenty of pace about him. But no, for Rangers, really, you know, it's been disciplined and having the same attitude. It's just a shame that they're doing it to 10 men, really.
Absolutely. Let's hope it's not the key factor in the game. Interesting, too, that the two real danger men for Malmö in the first leg, Larsson, who got the goal, and Wílton Figueiredo, the Brazilian, have not really been seen to any great effect. And that's greatly to Rangers' credit.
I'm touching wood.
Touch wood,
there.
for sure.
No, they haven't. But I think that's maybe down to the way Rangers have played and how they've handled them tonight. We thought last week that they got in far too easily at times, did pick pockets in and around the edge of the box. Scored a good goal, did Larsson. Tonight, he's had a couple of half chances, put one over the bar, I think, but not as dangerous looking as last week. But it's all about a mental problem that Malmö might have as well, because they're playing against 10 men, and sometimes it's backs to the wall, Dougie. You know, the 10 men, they get up and at him. They're difficult to beat, and the stands shoulder to shoulder and make it difficult. You know,
that's a decision that Norling's got, Colin, isn't it? I mean, can he sit back and say, well, OK, it's 1-0, but they're down to 10 men, we'll just take it easy? Or does he come out and say, we're at home, they've got no supporters here, nobody to lift them if we get a goal? Do we have a go in the second half?
Well, it's similar to the first half, wasn't it? Do they sit back and let Rangers come at them and then hit them on the counter? It's changed now, of course, because Rangers are in front. I can't see... there's going to be a period, Dougie, in the second half where there's going to be consistent pressure from Malmö. I'm sure there is. Only thing is the referee's got to get it right. He's got to get his game back on track as well, second half. And, you know, he's made a massive mistake at the back end on the 44th minute with Durmaz there. He should not be on the pitch. I mean, Pat mentioned it in Jim in commentary, and I don't think for a minute that it's an easy night for him here on in. And I would expect a lot more yellow cards and excitement to boot.
That was the man that got the goal in the first leg. The stadium full of Malmö fans, not a Rangers supporter there. They've been banned for one game, but those watching us in Premier Sports will be, I would imagine, more than happy with the way things have gone so far. Let's hope they can keep that concentration high for the next 45 minutes. Let's get back to Pat and Jim.
Possibly on away goals. Here's Wílton Figueiredo, 4 towards Larsson. Durmaz. Wílton towards Larsson at the near post, dealt with by Papac.
Just a wee moment there, I think Beguer got dragged into the wrong position there. He got dragged out of the centre-back line, looking across for an offside there. Forget about that. You go and make decisions as a defender. Defend first, worry about offsides later.
Figueiredo with the first corner of the second half. There was a push at the back post by Ricardinho. Larsson has picked up an injury as well. Carrying down in the goal mouth away to our left-hand side. It's
was Jansson.
Yeah. So Ricardinho now is ostensibly playing up front for Rikard Norling's men alongside Larsson, with Wílton in behind. A change to a 4-3-1-2 formation. Clearance hitting Naismith. Jelavic trying to make something of it. Davis arriving on the scene as well. Durmaz clearance bouncing off Edu, and then McCulloch colliding with Wílton.
Do you know that's the danger of Lee McCulloch and his silly booking near the end of the first half there when he dived and he didn't need to. Do you know the referee could have pulled out a card there again? He easily pulled out a card, and I think maybe the referee's still thinking about the mistake he made in Malmö's favour. Maybe giving a little bit of leeway there to Big Jig. Can't do that again. Sorry, we call him Big Jig. He's an old teammate of mine. I should say Lee McCulloch, of course.
Well, you knew a mother well.
Absolutely.
Ricardinho. As an impact substitute in the first leg at Ibrox last week. Very lively and quick in that last 15 minutes.
It's been intriguing, you know, very interested to see how Rangers start this second half, because there is no need to go and chase down and close down the way they did brilliantly in the first 10-15 minutes of the first half. In fact, I would suggest it would be madness to do that at this point in the game, and certainly the way they've set out here is very similar to the way they ended the first half, and you know, tactics-wise, technique-wise, it looks exactly that way. And I think Alan McCoy said more of the same. Keep on trying to get the ball to Jelavic when you can go and help Naismith. Get up there and help, and just hope for another opportunity.
And it comes from Davis. Naismith trying to squeeze in behind Andersson. The Rangers have their first corner of the second half.
Was that Lee McCarthy at the back post there, won the header? And very noticeable, the Rangers are looking very strong in the air. Certainly, yeah, but he's won his fair share, so it may well be a Naismith. We know for his height, he's fabulous in the air. So it may well be from a set piece that Rangers get one of the chances.
Quartet of Rangers players making their runs from deep. It's gone in towards Edu. Naismith couldn't get there on the turn. Jansson sorted that, out of play for another Rangers throw.
Again, did Edu win that header there? I mean, he was not favourite to win that. Just get the feeling there may be an opportunity at some point for Rangers to get some, even if it's from a knockdown.
With a long throw, he chases to try and win the second ball himself, and he has done. Cleared by Andersson. Durmaz. Away from Wílton for Stenström. Pekalski. And Ricardinho. He's more than happy with quality like that coming from deep.
Strangely enough, even though Ricardinho's came on in this game, they only changed from the starting lineup last week. He's not had a great game so far, has he? Certainly he was in the wars early on, and he's been getting problems down that side quite a few occasions. And he's not had the best game.
Rangers, remember, have won only once out of their last 13 away trips in Europe, which was against Sporting Lisbon, and that's a run that stretches back to October 2007 with that magnificent win in Lyon.
I don't know why I mentioned it. I don't want to jinx it just now because the Rangers are 1-up at the moment.
Poor defensive header, falling straight for Ortiz. This is cross block, but Rangers have a throw. With the flick on.
He's winning them all. He's all, just about every single header, he's actually getting a flick, a touch. But just the whole time, one of them drops in front of the Rangers player.
Larsson, clever chest trap, and Sheppy with a less than clever shot.
I think Alan McCoy will be happy. I think he should be happy at the start of this second half, because the expectation was that obviously the change we made, that man coming on, that a lot better pressure was going to be applied to Rangers, and so far, you know, it's not looked as if it's too much pressure. It's not looked as if it's something that Rangers have to worry too much about. They can get themselves into the second half and get into their game plan, and it's working so far. It's early days in the second half, and of course Rangers will tire with 10 men, you know, and it is still early in the season. They will tire as the game goes on. Still hopeful moments, and this would be one of the great results for Rangers. I know it's very, very early on, but, you know, to win away from home after losing at home, it would be a great result if Rangers can get through this in any way whatsoever.
Just to reiterate, of course, it's something that they've never been able to do in their history, lose the first leg at Ibrox and still progress.
Told you, I'm not going to jinx it, I'm not going to mention it.
Stays this way, goes to extra time, and then will go to penalties. There's still work for Rangers to do yet, but very impressive opening 52 minutes, bar the aberration from Stephen Whittaker, which has got them down to 10 men. Too much on that from Wallace, despite McCulloch's best attempts to chase the lost cause.
Actually, that wasn't the best ball into an area. No opportunity really for Lee McCulloch or any Rangers players to go and attack it because it was behind them all. Really want to put a little bit more pressure. Not ask too many questions of the goalkeeper, certainly from cross balls. I've been waiting for that for a game and a half now.
40 guns from Wílton. Hamad just lost sight of that, but he seemed to make a run towards it and then just dart away from it.
That was one of the things that we've seen in the first half, the first game. You know, that pace there, getting in behind defenders. It's not happened really a great deal in this game so far, but that was just the moment that you feared would happen a little bit in this game. And if Rangers can keep it to just the odd occasion there. But I thought, I have to say, like you, if it had kept on going, it could have been in.
Several crucial saves in that first leg. Hasn't actually had too much to do so far this evening. Dependable when called upon. This is 41st European tie for Rangers tonight. Davis. Away by Stenstrup. Back from Papac. Tracking back, McCulloch finding Wallace. Just too far ahead of Naismith, allowing Andersson to clear, and Larsson has come back to provide the bridge between midfield and attack. Jimmy Durmaz.
Rangers defender was very, very good there. They got themselves in superb positions, made sure they got back, killed off that area where they struggled in the first game. You know, in front of the two centre-backs. Lee McCulloch got himself back, he worked hard, he's that little bit fitter now. He got himself into that position and killed the space, and that's why the poor ball was played wide. Well done defence and well marshalled.
Wílton. Pekalski. Ricardinho getting caught underneath the flight of the ball. Naismith able to benefit as a result of that. Forced to retrace his step slightly by Davis. Rangers have a corner.
Let's have a go at him. Have a go at Ricardinho as often as possible. He's mistimed the flight of the ball there for a moment, and he's got his feet in the wrong position, he's got his body in the wrong position, and Naismith unlucky not to get beyond him. And he's been a real disappointment. Full back for Malmö tonight.
Have looked susceptible over the 90 minutes last week and the 50-odd tonight to high ball inside the penalty area. What can Wallace provide here? Figueiredo at the far post, heads it down, it hits Jansson. Figueiredo will get it back, but the whistle's gone, so free kick to Malmö.
He's not arguing too much, but once again, Rangers won the header. Every free kick, every kick up the park. It's quite surprising because they're not a small team. I mean, Malmö have got tall defenders, but they just don't seem to want to attack the ball in defensive areas when it's too up high. And time and again, be it McCulloch, be it Jelavic, be it Figueiredo, they win the headers. And it's all about gambling when you get the opportunity.
Ortiz won it back cleanly. Jelavic, great control. Naismith making a superb run forward here. Malmö defending mob-handedly. Jansson able to save the day. Wílton. Durmaz. This is where Rangers have to guard against the counter-attack. It was a poor shot from Larsson.
Again, it was a good move from Rangers though beforehand, but this is an intriguing game now, isn't it? It is end-to-end. Obviously, Malmö are breaking when they're getting the opportunity. They still look lively enough and pacey enough to break, but that was another little half chance. And when you get that moving between, specifically Naismith and Jelavic, you know that there's a good chance of an opportunity coming.
Just to reiterate the situation, away goals do count after 90 minutes, so if Rangers were to win this game 2-1 in 90 minutes tonight, they would go through without the need for extra time.
He's a happier figure. I mean, he's got concerns in his face now, but the first couple of games of his tenure as manager, he did put a very confused and lonely-looking figure out there on the caustic. More animated now.
Wílton. Reshepi's done really well taking on 3 or 4 Rangers players. Figueiredo ultimately was the player that stopped him getting the ball inside the penalty area, but it's still a corner.
Actually, that was decent movement there by Reshepi. He's got 2 and 3 players around him, but he's strong enough to hold the ball. He's got a decent bit of skill as well. I didn't expect him to be able to do that there. He caught through, he's got himself a corner.
Delivered deep by Wílton. Going for a goal kick.
It was 2-1 there against Edu at the back post there. It was a worrying moment for Rangers there because they got the marking all wrong. Generally, Rangers are very good at marking from corner kicks. I mean, albeit against Hearts earlier in the season, David De Boer was left completely free to score.
The boost from the Malmö supporters after McGregor decided, which he's entitled to do, to take the goal kick from the right-hand side of his 6-yard box rather than the left.
When every single flick on again, and there's not even a challenge half the time now. There are some defences that allow a player to win a ball and allow a flick on, but I don't think that's the case with Malmö. I just don't think they like attacking the ball in defensive areas when it's high.
Half an hour for Rangers to score a goal which could well propel them to one of their most impressive away victories in Europe for many years. Thoroughly deserving the lead given to them by Jelavic. They've played nearly 45 minutes now with only 10 men. Naismith putting the pressure on Jansson.
Sometimes a game, you know, after about an hour or so, the legs will get a little bit tired, and you know, we talk about the concentration and the control of the game has to keep up from Rangers, but sometimes this is when you want your fans to help you, and of course Rangers haven't got any there tonight.
He's going to touch to block the corner. Stenstrom, who's done well since coming on in the first half as a substitute, made his way forward from right back. It's 6 corners to 5 in Malmö's favour as they search for this equalising goal, which will put them back ahead on aggregate. Wílton's delivery, away by McCulloch. Back to Durmaz. Pekalski. Ricardinho. Trying to stand the ball up towards the far post. Rangers having more and more defending to do as the game goes on.
Interesting there, he's trying to get his fans up, he's getting the fans behind him because he knows that this is the moment. And the Rangers are under a little bit of pressure now. They will be contained. You can sense that when you're playing against a team. If there's a few heavy legs around you, you know, it's sometimes not easy to see from the side, but you can sense that. You can hear the breathing of the players you're playing against. That's why he wants his fans to get behind him and lift his team.
Another delivery from Wílton. Alan McGregor's come out. Good contact from him. Not such good contact from the long-range effort from Stenstrom.
That was dreadful. That was absolutely awful. I don't mind saying that. You know, he's got good possession there. There's no one closing him down. He's got plenty of time there. It struck me as just a panic merchant. I mean, another situation, we mentioned the fact that Rangers have no fans there tonight. when Rangers fans in Europe, they turn up in huge numbers, they make a massive amount of noise, and they have an effect in a game. Think back to the sending off that should have happened at the end of the first half. There would have been more pressure on the referee to do that. Because Rangers haven't got any fans there, there isn't that pressure on the referee, because him sitting out, he's not pressured, he's not feeling pressure because nobody's shouting him.
That's been one thankful aspect of the second half, that the volatility that was there is now beneath the surface again.
I do think, and I'd say right in the first couple of minutes of this game, it's about control. You know, and Rangers are a couple of times had lost control, or a couple of players lost control just momentarily in that first half. It just hasn't happened so far in the second half. It's been much better organised. No one's did anything silly. No one's get carried away. I think Augusti's had a word.
Very nicely done by Wallace. In for more teeth towards Jelavic, who again has won it when looking second favourite, but header in an offside position.
Yeah, he was second favourite, absolutely. Just if Rangers could only get down that line, and if Wallace could get up there a few times from that left back area. Come on, referee, that's never a free kick. I'm calling that one early, but surely he got the ball. Yeah, got the ball.
Yellow card for Naismith.
I spoke too soon about lack of control. He's obviously kicking the ball where he's getting the yellow card for that. It's petty, but he was standing beside Whittaker when he gets sent off for throwing the ball at an opponent. He can't do it.
Naismith joining Edu McCulloch, having received yellow cards today. Whittaker, of course, got a red. Two of the Malmö players in the book as well. Expect Rangers to have some dominance in this game is the fact that they have much more European experience man for man than their opponents tonight. This is Malmö's first European campaign for 6 years.
Good work, you know. I mean, he's led with his arm there, and there's no doubt you can't lead with your arm like that. His elbows come out. I mean, whether you actually catch him or not, but madness. Madness, madness, madness.
And Rangers find themselves down to 9. Maciej Begera in what could well be his last Rangers game, sent off. Whittaker dismissed in the first 45, Begera in the second half, and Rangers down to 9 men as they try and keep their Champions League hopes alive.
Well, I've not seen it a second time yet, but as soon as I see him leading with his arm and his elbow up like that, you can't do it. I'm not suggesting that he's deliberately going to hurt the player. You cannot lead like that. The referee's got it right. Spot on. It's a red card. Got to go. And it's, I mean, to be honest, he should have been on a yellow card early in the game anyway, just before the Whittaker incident. I think Rangers fans know that about Maciej Begera. He has got that side to him, that lack of control. And apart from anything else, it's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. I mean, I don't think that's an act. I think the player is very badly hurt there.
Well, starting Reshepi, I think, who's down injured. Of the 4 players who Ali McCoist would have wanted as his defence when he woke up this morning, there's only 1 left. Goyan missing out through injury. Whittaker sent off. Begera sent off.
No, but it's not just the sending off. I mean, the Whittaker sent off, complete and utter stupidity. No need whatsoever at all. Begera sent off, should have been booked apart for that. Stupidity and dangerous play. Even Lee McCulloch, you know, no need to dive in there and take the player out, even though it should have led to a red card in the opponent when he retaliated. Edu himself could have been sent off for using his hand. And even Naismith there, his kicking the ball away and getting a yellow card. And it's, you know, it's... I can imagine if you tried to do that, walk in a dressing room and Walter Smith standing there waiting for you. I'll tell you what, you probably wouldn't do it, or you wouldn't have as many players queuing up to do it. And what a disappointment for Ali McCoist having to go through this. And I mean, one of the first games of his, you know, new tenure as a Rangers manager. And that's an awful sight to see that. But there's no excuse, and you notice there were no complaints from any Rangers fans around Maciej Begera.
Well, if it is to be his last act in a Rangers shirt, it's a very sad way to go, an irresponsible way to go as well.
Yeah, it is, and it's what do we do now, you know? There's a number of ways you could go. You would normally, if you lose one of your centre-halves, you bring Whittaker in, but of course he's not on the pitch. So you could take McKillop, he can go back, he can play centre-back. He's quite capable of that job. And I've seen Jelavic standing back there, but you would hope it's not him that's asked to do that job. But I'll tell you what, Ali's been asked a lot of questions tonight, hasn't he?
Take Ortiz off and bring Broadfoot on, perhaps.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I mean, Ortiz, you know, the best you can say, he's run about a bit. You know, it's a very, very lot of effect in this game.
And Malmö are going to make a change. It is their final one. Jeffrey Orbin, a veteran midfielder of Ghana in December. He's a Swedish international. He's a central midfielder. And he's come on to replace the injured Reshepi, who himself came on as a substitute at half-time. 21 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Rangers down to 9 men. Dead level on aggregate. Can Rangers see it through to extra time? Will be one hurdle overcome if they can get there. Don't expect too much of the ball in this half of the field in the remainder of the 90 minutes.
I mean, it would be great for Rangers if they could somehow fashion a chance from somewhere. I can't imagine there'd be many chances or any chances to get it from open play, but even if it's going to be from a set piece and get what players they've got left in the field to go and attack it, but and it's a difficult one. You get the feeling that most likely it's holding out if Rangers can possibly hold out.
Flicked on towards Naismith, it just didn't quite drop his way. Jelavic was appealing for a handball. Worthy of a second inspection. Header from Orbit. Putting his foot on the ball in the midfield. Forward he comes now for Wílton. Larsson makes a run. Ball goes the other way instead towards Hamad. It's well defended by Lee Wallace.
I think we might see a bit of that between now and the end of the game. Well, I say the end of the game, the end of the 90 minutes. If Rangers can last, you know, but they have to get their head around the fact that the last is 20 minutes, but hoping to last another 30 after that. It's a hell of a shift if it's 9 against 11.
Orbin. Well dispossessed by Naismith. Davis. Wanted the early ball to be played for. Davis has done brilliantly here. Janssen stopped the cross-finding Jelavic in the centre.
Not sure that, because it was a great play there. I mean, Davis fantastic holding on to the ball for as long as he did there and getting the ball to Lee Wallace there, but needed a better cross. Jelavic in good position.
Wílton to Larsson. Larsson tried to turn it back onto his right foot. He's just got his foot there to flick it away.
Well done, Papac. He stays on his feet there. That's exactly what you have to do. You don't dive in, you don't do anything silly, you don't take a chance there. And I think that's very, very good defending.
And now Naismith has kicked the ball at an opponent after Jelavic has gone down hurt. Naismith whacked the ball at Ricardinho here.
I'm not too sure that was a serious blow. That's nothing like the elbow that was used by Figueiredo, the referee. What's he going to do now? Is he going to give a yellow card to the defender?
Well, Ricardinho's already been booked. So if that's deemed to be a bookable offence, then Malmö are down to 10 men.
I've got to tell you, I think that's deliberate from Naismith as well. He's going to get away with it, fortunately.
A yellow card for Ricardinho, and the numerical advantage is down to 1, the third red card of the night. And Malmö find themselves down to 10 men now. Ricardinho sent off for a second bookable offence.
He's had a shocker anyway, start to finish that. It's just all the way through the game, from the first moment of the game, he's done nothing.
Naismith wins the free kick. It's fair to say Paddy was lucky to escape a second yellow card as he kicked the ball and it hit Ricardinho.
Lucky's understanding it for me. Extraordinarily lucky. It was a fury. He kicked out. I mean, he could argue that he was just kicking the ball away and the player happened to be in the way. There are some people I would suggest that of, not him, because he's an extremely good player and he knows where he's putting the ball. Again, very lucky, lack of control, can't afford to do that.
Gone to three at the back now, Malmö. Dropped Andersson out towards the left-hand side and playing with a very stretched three.
Tell you what, tactics sometimes go out the window when it's 9 against 10.
Durmaz working it wide. McGregor didn't have a save to make, but it was a ferocious hit from Wílton.
Yeah, they're getting into decent positions now. The last couple of minutes, they're getting into positions easily within the 18-yard line now. And obviously, McCulloch can't get close in there. He doesn't want to take a chance of getting too close in case he's turned. But you know, it's just opening up a bit, and it does. I mean, both sets of players are now tired. The game is opening up. There is a huge amount of space now. But of course, it slightly favours Malmö because they've got an extra man. But I have to say, I'm hugely impressed by the efforts of the Rangers players, if not by their control of themselves when they're in difficult situations, lashing out.
Andersson. Now Jansson. Pekalski. Good turn by Orbin. Taking the ball with him. Well, one back here by Rangers. Davis has had an excellent game tonight. And again, he's able to make good ground into Malmö territory. Naismith. Fantastic ball for Jelavic, who couldn't bring it under control. The offside flag was up against him anyway.
Yeah, but pulled away really well. It's how memory scored the first goal. He pulled away from the defender there. He's looking along the line. He probably shouldn't have gone offside, but at this point in time, with the game opening up so wide, players like Naismith and Davis will love this because of space they can run into. Get those players on the ball, even if you're the man shot. A great hope for Rangers if they can get both of those players on the ball, running with the ball into space, into areas. I'll tell you what, Malmö are tired as well. There's no doubt they are tired as well.
Malmö's fifth quarter of the second half alone, taken short by Wílton. In from Durmaz. The away came from Lee McCulloch. Back in from Stenstrom. Well won by Jansson. It was Papac that was able to buy his fellow defenders a little bit of time.
And that's okay for Rangers. They've got 4 defenders there up against Jelavic. None of these Rangers are okay. They're comfortable at the back. For me, they're not doing enough at the moment. And I think in the midfield area, Rangers still, with a man shot, are far better. Far, far better just now. And I think Davis and Naismith want to get the ball. They've got plenty of legs. I mean, Naismith for me has got a fantastic engineering. I've said that already. But Davis, when he gets the ball there, and he was running with pace past 2 or 3 defenders. So, you know, Rangers, they've got nothing to worry about just now. If they could possibly just get another chance, I think they're capable of winning this.
Wílton. He's taking the deflection on its way through. And Lee McCulloch isn't happy with the decision at all, but it is a corner.
I think the referee is due. He's in a much better position than us. He's very close to it. I have to say, I see no touch there whatsoever.
Here comes the corner from Wílton. What a save from McGregor.
I think the defender online, Ortiz, is that he gets a bit of it as well. I think we called that just about in, hadn't we?
Fall again from Pekalski. Larsson wants the ball in space, and this time McGregor is beaten. the goal! 1-1 on the night. Rangers' brave resistance might yet count for nothing. They have to score in the last 10 minutes, but if they do, they will surely go through.
Just a wee moment there, wasn't it? Just a little moment. You thought Rangers will need a bit of luck sometime. Point at the end of the game, they got it on the line there, cleared off. Fantastic defensive play, but that's a great hit when it finally falls out there. He's caught it on the ball absolutely brilliantly. It takes a lot to beat McGregor from this sort of angle, but that's a great hit. And you've got to see the two goals that they have scored over this time, Malmö, have been fabulous goals. Poor and into the corner. No blame whatsoever on McGregor.
Jiloan Hamad, only 20, already a full international. A player with a great reputation. His versatility has been seen over these two legs, and he's shown that little bit of quality as well. So 1-1 on the night, 2-1 Malmö lead on aggregate, but just to reiterate, the second goal for Rangers now would see them go through on away goals. Expect the game to be really stretched over the last 10 minutes. It's just a question when the Rangers can create a decent enough chance to convert.
Very hard to know what to do if you're Alan, because you have to go on. Eventually, sometime this last 10 minutes, you've got to go man-to-man at the back. You've got to leave Larsson on one and just maybe go three at the back. Push as many players up as you possibly can, but you know, he's running out of options. And remember, many changes has Alan made again? None again. He doesn't believe, obviously, that he's got enough on the bench to help him. And remember, those players out there are exhausted.
Last week, which was enforced because of the injury to Davy Wheeler. On the bench tonight, Broadfoot, Fleck, Healy and Weil, Bendixson and Hemmings.
So I suggest Wells the only option, really, just with a pure pace. They, you know, get him up front, get the ball long, get over the top.
His last different story would have been had Jelavic put his chance away 9 minutes ago. And the scoreline is so harsh on Rangers. Performance tonight infinitely better than that we saw last week, but they're not out yet. And he was in support for Jelavic, who overplayed it.
That's hard to take that, because Jelavic's touch and his work rate has been fantastic, but there's no need to backpeel that. He's got there, he's did the hard part. He holds it up and he plays it back to Edu and gives these players, gives the other midfield players a chance to get in support, and unlike Jelavic, that's a bad mistake. You look at that Rangers back line there, there's 4 along the back line, and I know you don't want to give anything away, but the staring European exit in the face now, eventually we've got to take massive chances.
Back it goes from Larsson. Naismith, as you can see, has dropped into that defensive line, trying to play as an attacking right back. So they move forward into midfield now ahead of Edu, who we've been covering. Davis with the initial challenge has come off Wallace last, despite his appeals. I think the substitution is going to be made by Rangers in a moment. Ortiz is the player who is coming off here. There's the Englishman Kane Hemmings, who's coming on for his debut. A player who signed from Tamworth as a teenager.
I will own up to not having seen him a great deal, but I don't think many Rangers fans have seen a great deal of him either. He's got a lot asked of him tonight. Save Rangers' European season. And we've got 7 minutes to do it.
He's the man who's made the most telling contribution. Hamad with the equalising goal on the night, in the 80th minute. Rangers with a numerical disadvantage as well, down to 9, as Malmö are down to 10. 5.5 minutes will be complemented by a fair dollop of stoppage time. Probably still 10 minutes of action ahead of us.
Well, it's got to be, even just with sending off, players down injured, and then the substitutions as well. And it's got to be 4 or 5 minutes up here.
Pulling the ball out of play. It's a Rangers ball.
One of the things that Rangers fans will feel a bit aggrieved, you know, that they should have been down to 10 men earlier in Malmö, but when you look at it, Malmö should probably over the piece have 2 men sent off. Rangers would have had no complaints had they had 4 men sent off, and you can't really blame the referee in this one.
Right away by Orbin. Play for a Rangers throw. Melicharek, who's been playing at centre-half after Figueiredo's dismissal. The throw for Papach. Now Wallace. Hemmings losing out. An auspicious first contribution from him, Stenström. Wide for Orbin. That was without saying another Malmö goal now, and it is all over for Rangers.
Problem is, the last 5 or 10 minutes, or 5 minutes anyway, Rangers just haven't got up the other end of the pitch. And I just think running out of steam, they're exhausted, obviously, and the real difficult. Malmö have actually played it a little bit better these last 5 or 10 minutes.
Here's Durmaz. Just open it up onto his right foot with the far corner inviting. Jelic. He's done brilliantly to win the second ball after his initial header, but then Naismith, a very tired touch, which falls straight for Daniel Larsson. McCulloch did enough.
Yeah, intelligent play by McCulloch on that occasion, because if it was a foot race between the two, I'm afraid there's only one winner in that one, but Lee managed to hold him up, shove him a little bit wide. Using experience.
Rangers will be in the European draw, whatever happens on Friday, but it's just a question of whether it's Champions League or Europa League playoff rounds that they will be playing in. The huge financial disparity between those two competitions. Making a late goal here absolutely essential. Will it come from this? Here's Stephen Davis. Jelic sticks out a long leg and able to bring the ball down, and Wílton can bring it away. Back line stepped up to try and get Durmaz offside. They failed. Here's Durmaz again. Take on McCulloch. Papach doubled up with his centre-half. Wallace can bring the ball clear. Rangers throw, 90 seconds. We expect 4 or 5 minutes to be added on.
Yeah, it certainly should be 4 or 5 minutes, and I do keep forgetting that Rangers will go back into Europa League if they don't get back here in these last few minutes or so. But you know, that's little comfort, because it's Champions League what the Rangers fans expect and want and desire.
Orbin caught in possession. Never say die. Attitude of Davis again exemplified, but once more, unfortunately, no end product. Orbin can bring the ball away. Hamad. Plenty of space for him to work with now as the game increasingly stretched with only 19 men on the field.
Of course, it's not just the time, it's actually, you know, mentally Rangers are exhausted now as well. I mean, losing that goal really has knocked the stuffing out of Rangers just now, and you just can't get on it. mean, up until losing the goal, I still think for the entirety of the match, up until losing the goal, Rangers were the better side. But since then, you know, as I say, the stuffing's been knocked out, and they're feeling the legs now, and they've felt it ever since then.
Andersson. Well done, Lee McCulloch. Almost inevitably, the ball comes straight back again. Find out in a moment how many extra minutes are going to be added on. It's 4. Hamad. McGregor wants from distance, but he was never going to be able to beat him again.
It's just you wonder if Alan's going to do anything now. Is there any major change? You just hope the Rangers can get one chance, just one chance, and it doesn't matter if it's lumped in from deep, it doesn't matter, just a nick on anything.
Naismith tried to help it on with Davis making the run in behind him. It was a very tired clearance from Stenstrom. In it comes here, Naismith! And maybe that was the final chance. Very difficult one at that.
It was technique-wise, and it falls to his left foot. I mean, the good fight, the great fight that they put in, the great effort they put in. But the other type of fight, the stupidity, the daft challenges, the silly bookings, the silly sending-offs. And quite simply, that is what's losing Rangers this game. And I'll tell you what, maybe we'll go into the Europa League here. But will they have enough players to play?
Will they lose on the night? Zedu, who was able to make the block. McGregor, unorthodox but effective enough, and we're into the real last knockings now. Rangers have to get it forward quickly. Here's Zedu. Appeals for handball. It's been given.
That's so hard to take. It's such a bad. He's got up there and he's put his arm out. But I think that's fairly harsh. They are losing it a bit now, Rangers players. They are infuriated, and I know the feeling. When you're exhausted, you put so much effort in, you feel as if the referee's giving you nothing all night. But I mean, part of it is, I mean, they have been their own worst enemies, some of the Rangers players. But that's hard to take. That, you know, great break there. And enough Rangers players up, and maybe one last chance there. But I think that was the last chance to get it in.
Yellow card for Papac for dissent. The Champions League dream is over for Rangers for another year. Malmö know that they've got away with this. Rangers much, much better tonight than they were in Glasgow last week. But ultimately, 2 moments of individual loss of responsibility have cost them dearly. A goal from Hamad when Rangers were down to 9 men, 10 minutes from time. Enough for a draw tonight. Rangers led for a long time, but they're out of the Champions League. Malmö won, Rangers won, 2-1 to Malmö on aggregate. Doogie?
Jim, I have to agree with you. I think this is a case of Rangers shooting themselves in the foot. They were over the piece, poor in the first half, but tonight a performance which perhaps deserved to go through. But in the end, when you finish with 5 yellows and 2 reds, you have to say that you've done a lot of the damage yourself. Colin Henry's reaction in just a moment, but let's just... Tonight, though, Rangers go out of the Champions League with all the massive financial implications that involves. For a long time, it looked so good, Colin, but you have to point at the loss of discipline at crucial moments.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 red cards for Steven Whittaker and Majid Beguera were critical times in the game where, you know, Whittaker definitely, for what he did, throw the ball at a player. The referee's no option, and even with Big Majid leading with his arm. And the striker actually turned himself into, when his arm was raised, it made it look a little bit worse, but he was still culpable of what he did, was about leading with his arm. And of course, it's a straight red card. The referee couldn't really get away from that. I mean, I think there was a couple of other incidents in the game where he could be criticised, the referee. I mean, he was card happy in the end as well.
He was.
But, you know, disappointing that Rangers did so well in the night and they still are out the competition.
Fingers will be pointed at where things went wrong for Rangers too early in the
season. Technique that he's able to provide for Rangers and scoring goals, that's a fantastic finish.
Yeah. He was terrific tonight. He did run out of steam towards the end.
Yeah, he tired.
His performance was outstanding, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, he was the top man for Rangers tonight, along with Naismith, who in the end, you know, he did tire, but, I mean, he worked his socks off as well, you know, and got booked, looked a bit reckless at times with his attitude towards the referee, but he did well again tonight, Naismith.
In the second half, Ricardinho was sent off, of course, for Malmö. He'd earlier been booked just before half-time, 4 minutes before the interval. But, of course, Figueiredo was the man that had really been the problem because it's a reckless challenge and you feel, in fact, for Pichel because he looks in a really nasty one, actually.
Yeah, I mean, the referee's just there out of shot and he's no option, Dougie, you know, I mean, and I know people say, why do you jump with your arms in the air? That's to give you a better lift, to get higher, that's why, but at times you've got to be careful what you do, and I think Magic Figueiredo, when he looks at that himself, he'll say himself that he's very reckless. And if it is his final act as a Rangers player, it's a horrible note on which to go, and we wish Ricardinho well, incidentally, because that did look as if he took a very nasty one. Never like to see a player being stretchered off. As I said, Ricardinho then was sent off for Malmö. The first booking was just before half-time. Yeah, but he had a beast. He had a beast of a game, Dougie. Yeah. You know, I mean, Pat mentioned that he didn't have a good game all night, and I think it was the tackles were mounting. You know, he'd caught Naismith out on the left-hand side a couple of times, and then of course here, the referee's in a good view to see it. He's led with his arm. I know Jelavic is falling away, but he's led with his arm.
How lucky was Stephen Naismith, though?
Yeah, Naisy. I mean, this will be a night that he's got off without maybe getting red carded, but I don't think he can complain, Ricardinho, there. I mean,
no, I think that was a yellow card.
That's a yellow card, and
so
the top
2 yellows
of that,
are red. Fair enough.
And he combined so many tackles in the first half to obtain the first yellow card. So I think it was the right decision.
Yeah. So after having sung Jelavic's praises for taking the goal superbly, he then missed perhaps the chance of the night. And again, you could point over the 2 legs how many chances Rangers missed, and this is one that he should have put away.
Great build-up for you know. Pass from Stephen Davis into Naismith and he lays it off first time, and all he needs to do, and he's the one person you would have asked tonight to get that chance, Jelavic, was take it on his left and slot it away with his right. But he was tired then. Yeah. You know, he'd worked hard. They were down to 9 men. They were doing things they're not used to when you're playing with 11. You're down to 9. You're filling in spaces, filling in holes that you're not normally going to do. And he was tired. It was a tired attempt. Yeah, it was a tired attempt. This is the goal, which in the end means that Rangers' Champions League challenge is over for another season. And it followed an absolutely stunning save from Alan McGregor. Yeah, I mean, McGregor again makes a massive contribution to the football team, to the football club. But then as it comes back to Hamad here, he doesn't have a hope. I mean, that's a class strike. Yeah, it's a class strike. And, you know, if you're going to go out, of a competition in any manner, Dougie, in any sort of goal, it's a goal like that, you don't mind. You know, I know it's been a difficult night for Rangers. They've played ever so well. They've shot themselves in the foot, as you say, with the 2 red cards. But when you go out in the night, I mean, obviously the game for Rangers was lost in Glasgow with these 2 legs against Malmö. But you know, they have to win that to keep some sort of momentum going. It's been a tough start for Ali McCoist's new manager. I think tonight you'll have seen a much more positive side from the team and a better shape to things and looking fitter and sharper. They were much better than Malmö, I think, tonight. But it's the red cards, wasn't it?
Yeah, that in the end was what caused the problems. But you just wonder whether it's a small player pool. It's very much the same. There's hardly a new player come in. McCoy's badly needs to recruit some players. I'm sure Craig White, the new owner, was relying on a European run to get some money in to do that. There's a lot of questions now going to be asked of Craig White because clearly he needs to come up with some cash.
He'll have to provide something. Yeah. I know Goyan can come back for the Europa League. I think he's able to play in that, but you've got 2 players that's not going to play, in Whittaker and Figueiredo, whether Figueiredo stays or if he goes. Carlos Cuellar coming, is he going to come? We don't know yet, but certainly Craig White, he's got a bit to do now. You can't rely on the monies that was going to come in from the Champions League. That was very important before tonight. It was very important before last Tuesday night at Ibrox, and unfortunately that's not going to happen this season.
Yeah, desperately disappointing nights for Rangers. We'll talk some more about Rangers and the implications of tonight's draw, which in the end led to the aggregate defeat. But of course, that Blue Square Premier League starts on Friday, August the 12th.
The true heart of English football returns to Premier Sports as another exciting season of Blue Square Bet Premier gets underway.
What an extraordinary goal! It's in for Southport! What a strike by Chris Singh!
Can you believe this?
See the best action all season long right here on Premier Sports TV. To subscribe, visit premiersports.tv or call 0871 663 9000.
And that all starts a week on Friday, but of course our attention tonight very much on the result in Malmö. Malmö won, Rangers won, but all the other Champions League qualifiers tonight are now at the very least underway. Rubin has beaten Dynamo Kiev by 2-1. They play together in the Russian league, so a bit of an atmosphere about that one, I suppose. Rosenborg are 1-0 away in Pilsen, and the only other goal, Maccabi Haifa are 1-0 up against Maribor of the Czech Republic. All of the others are just about underway, though, in the last 20 minutes. So now Rangers have to hope that they get a draw in the playoff round for the Europa League that allows them to qualify for the league itself and to get some money in, but it still doesn't. It's no sort of consolation, because Rangers will certainly feel that they're a club who have to be involved in the Champions League.
Well, they do, because not just from the financial the implications that they've got and not securing that sort of funds for next season, it's also for players that could look at a football club, and a big football club in Rangers and in Celtic that they might want to join. They'll get decent money, but they'll also be guaranteed of European football, Champions League football, and it's a big, carrot for any footballer that's in a position where they want to elongate their career, really, Dougie. And tonight's been a big disappointing 7 days really for Rangers in Europe. But the Europa League, of course, is something they've got to have a go at. I think the monies might be 10-15%, even if that, of what you'd maybe possibly get from the Champions League. So it's a dramatic change from the cash that's involved in the Champions League.
And of course, this was a chance for Rangers with the way the coefficient is worked out. They would be the only Scottish participant, so they get, if you like, all of the pot of money allocated to Scotland. Yes. Next year, Celtic will have a chance of being in the Champions League as well, so all being well, but that money would then be halved for either club. So this was a chance for Rangers to win a jackpot. Yeah,
I mean, it was a cup final tonight. We said at the beginning of the show that these two games are of vast importance to Rangers for various different things. But
it was too early. There's no doubt about that. It was too early. But you know that before you start. You've got to just organise yourself.
Difficult, though. I mean, come the end of last season, the players have only had so many weeks off. Early start. I mean, we've got a pre-season match this Saturday.
Yes.
Celtic had pre-season matches last Saturday.
Yeah.
What is that about?
Yeah.
I mean, let's give a bit of credit to the league that we're playing in the country and the teams
Celtic
that are playing in the league.
Pre-season tonight, they're playing Swansea, aren't they?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous
but
when
the
you think about it.
already underway. Yeah.
It is, and yes, it was too early for Rangers. You've seen that pretty clearly last week. Not so much from their fitness point of view, but just the fact their timing and their touch and what they need to be at the top of their game. Yeah, and that was so clear tonight, because that was a very different Rangers team. That was a good performance tonight. Take aside the stupidity of the red cards, which cost them so dearly. It was a much better performance because they'd had the St Johnstone game in between. They've just that level of sharpness up again, and that's in the end been a major factor. Yeah. But you can't get away from, I'm afraid, Whittaker and Bougherra must carry a lot of the criticism tonight. I'll not say blame, but a lot of the criticism for the red cards. Well, they've no excuse, especially Whittaker. They've no excuse. I mean, on another given day, I mean, Magic Bougherra could have led with his arm and not hit the player on the head. There's the chances of that happening are high if you're going to do it. Yeah. But on another day, it ain't going to happen. Stephen Whittaker knew what he was doing. It was suicidal for him, for the team, and for Ali McCoy as a new manager, and just straight into the job. It's difficult for him. To concern himself at what actually happened at that given moment in time. The player's just signed a new 5-year deal. As I said earlier, he's a current Scottish international. He's up there. He'll play regular football. Difficult to understand why players...
Because it's not even a crazy impulsive moment. He actually stops, turns round, picks up the ball, and at some point makes a decision to throw it at the player.
And you can't blame the referee.
No.
I mean,
He wasn't great tonight, perhaps, certainly towards the end.
He may have got
big decisions he got right.
Yeah, and he might have got a couple of big decisions wrong. Maybe the one on Durmaz at the back end of the 44th minute on McCulloch, where he kicked out and caught him. Now, if you're going to kick out at a player and catch him, that's a straight red card. Sure. But he totally ignored that, and that was in the 44th minute. That would have made it 10 men each. Yeah. I'm not saying that would have made a difference to the game, but by the laws of the game, when you kick an opponent intentionally, it's a red card.
Straight red, isn't it? These are difficult times for Scottish football. We saw it in the World Cup draw into now. When your coefficient drops, suddenly it becomes harder and harder and harder to lift it up again. Dundee United already out of Europe. Rangers are at best in the Europa League. Hearts have a big game tomorrow night against Pax of Hungary. Good result in the first leg, but they've shot themselves in the foot, haven't they? Yeah. They sacked the manager this early in the season, between two legs of a European.
There's only one man knows what's happening there, and that's Romanoff himself. You know, I mean, it's Jim Jeffries, Billy Brown. For me, has done a phenomenal job there.
Absolutely.
You know, got rid of a lot of players, high earners. You know, big timers, if you want to call them. Put them in that bracket, and is a good team. And strange. Yeah. You know, but that's what the owners of football clubs are allowed to do, because they physically own the football club. Yeah.
You've been a manager.
Yes.
Do you want to go back into it? It's a crazy business.
Not particularly. No. Do you know? I mean, I'm quite happy with what I'm doing at the minute. But you know, sometimes when they talk about managers being 3 or 4 games from the sack, you know, it's that critical. You're in a situation at times that you don't really know what you're involved in until you're right in amongst it. If you have 3 or 4 bad results, you know, people start looking at things, people start picking holes, you get criticised in the media, they analyse things, they reanalyse things, and they put you under an immense pressure. I just hope that what's happened at Rangers anyway, that they're out of the Champions League now, but with Alan McCoy's been the new manager, he's a good infrastructure of a coaching staff behind him, Durante, and the lads there, he's got a good squad that they pick up.
Yeah. If it's any consolation, after losing to Kaunas, they went on to do a double. After Celtic lost to Media, they went on to do a double. Small consolation, I know. Don't forget, tomorrow night, the Europa League qualifier, Hansduk against Stoke City. That's live at 5 to 6. But sadly, despite a very brave performance, it's all come to a sad end for Rangers and Malmö tonight. From Colin and I and everyone here, bye for now.